1, 2, 3, 4. I declare an anime start.
Anime war.
See, it even says beginning.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Wait, we can't use that.
I don't know what we can and can't use, but anyway, welcome to the latest iteration of us complaining about a perfectly good anime.
We have to. That's like our whole job here.
How much volume would you like? I'm just going to continue turning them up.
Low down.
Down?
Perfect. Done.
All right, there you go.
I couldn't find the thing because it's all dark in here. You've turned off the mood. You've turned on the mood lighting, as in there is no lighting in the room right now.
I suppose it's...
I know that's good for our eyes, but that's how it be.
Well, actually, I was talking with a friend earlier today.
This is an interesting coincidence. Yep.
Been some
not planned. This bit is not planned.
Interesting, discussions at the moment about the abundance of myopia on the tail end of the pandemic.
Okay.
Myopia being the one of the things that can generate short-sightedness.
Okay.
And a lot of people essentially ending up with myopia because they haven't gone outside and have been largely just looking at screens for an entire year and a bit.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me because I was part of a large and well-regarded study about the effects of myopia when I was a kid. Yeah.
There you go.
I think technically the study's actually still ongoing, but I at some point was pulled out of it. I don't actually know anything about that particular part.
So you're telling me you were part of a very cool study that you then just bounced from? You're like, I'm too cool for this study. I need to be a part of this.
I don't know when and why I bounced from it. Listen, you can call my mother and ask.
What a bizarre story. Just being like, yo, I was part of a very important thing until I wasn't. And now I don't. Doesn't matter. Does not matter.
I don't know how to sign back up. I don't know where the contact details are. Anyway, the moral of the story was that it was after comparing just analyzed day-to-day activities.
You better read this thought quickly before
various
shit
schools
happens.
around the world. Don't worry. It's Hanu's arriving at school.
No, it's the best scene. Get out of life.
Anyway, point is get a little bit of outside
there
sun
she is. She's
every
blushing.
day and you won't get as much myopia as you would otherwise.
You're missing Hanu blushing.
I'm not missing anything. I'm looking at it right now.
You're missing everything. She's adorable. She's having a really hard time socializing and everybody loves her. Because of course they do. And Brenna is a predator.
It's dangerous. She's dangerous.
She's ready to bounce.
Yeah, I thought they all died. Yeah, we
thought they all died horribly.
Recycle all the jokes from the VN as quickly as we can.
There they go. Anyway.
Dude, he's got buff since the last time we saw him.
Yeah, dude. He's swole. He's ready to beat on some nerds, Why is their first question not about the horns also? I do not understand.
Because they're not judgmental, prejudiced children like you are.
I know, like I am. Sure. Look, they get to keep using it. And they get to put her in bondage now.
Oh, no.
Which is just keep the camera from the head up and we'll be fine.
Yes, please.
Good God.
You see, if Ben was watching this at home by himself, he'd have paused a few
No, I would not
ago.
have. No, get out of here. Get your slander out of here. I did not pause on that scene when I watched it 10 years ago.
Well, that was 10 years ago. This is now. You've really grown as an individual.
8 years.
Worse.
Anyway.
This was the real story of when she was in her other school. It wasn't that she was running around breaking the glass. It's that she grabbed all of the students she thought were cute and just sprinted
jumped out the windows
with them.
That's how she got out.
Yes, nothing more daring than asking to join a group of people playing games.
But it's a very serious club. You don't understand.
Of course.
You don't understand.
I don't understand.
Good, you don't. Oh my God, she's about to this is like on your Facebook page when you just spill a bunch of emotional shit. And it's like, why?
You do that on your Facebook, man?
I used to. And I knew people who did. I knew lots of people who did. It was just something you did as a kid. You were like,
did you?
I'm going to put my deep and meaningful thoughts on Facebook.
That's
did you never do that?
No.
You didn't live. You've never truly lived if you've never posted a really awkwardly emotional post on Facebook.
I can't believe they do hazing rituals.
Look, that's what happens in the country. You don't understand. You're in the country and you want to join a group of friends and have a good time. You get
How
hazed.
did you even post emotional things on Facebook in the country?
What do you mean?
You even have internet out there?
We do have internet. It cuts out every 5 minutes, but it's there. It works.
That's ridiculous.
Who's that?
Oh
Who's that character?
My gosh. That was so sudden. I wasn't ready.
Look, I'm glad they at least show him, once before he actually gets to the village. I wasn't even sure if they do that. See, would you not ask that man why are you wearing cat ears? Is that not something you would ask him?
No, not at all.
You'd be like, yo, how you doing, Keiichi? You're looking lovely today. When
God, she fucking killed her.
She's fucking dead, dude. Throw her in the river. We need opinions. We need to have your opinions on the delivery of this scene versus the VN. Because this is one of those things that's like, we're both kind of frustrated with the fact that Rika doesn't remember things. It like kind of makes the ending of Arc Terror a little bit more stilted. How you feeling?
I mean, one of the problems in the VN is that it spends so much time on something that ends up just kind of like being a false finish.
The kind of...
That's not the right word, but...
it's okay. The blessing of the anime is that since nothing takes like an egregious amount of time, if something doesn't like contribute or something doesn't make 100% sense, it's okay. Like we can kind of just move on. We're kind of swept up in it.
I think the thing that was a little better about this is that they... timing-wise, lent a bit more on it being about Hanyu's agency.
Yes, well, the scene,
anime.
Yeah, well, I mean, the shot where she like sees Tark and it's like, oh damn, like it's clearly supposed to be about her and not about Rika.
Yeah, because it was the same implication in the VN, but it spent so much time in Rika's head that it didn't feel that way.
Yes.
Oh wow, they've just.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
We're just cutting him.
I love it.
Yeah. Akisaka is here now.
I hate it, but I also love it.
I mean,
I just want more time with Akisaka and Oishi.
Who's this guy? Is this the forensic guy?
Of course it is.
Like, I don't even know why they included him in the show, honestly. Like,
because they need him to fake the autopsy.
I mean, you're right. Like, it is helpful to have a doctor character who could do forensics and fake times of deaths and stuff. But like,
I'm honestly kind of surprised that they didn't choose to get Irie in. I was
just thinking that. I was just thinking that because as I was saying, like, you know, they need a doctor character to do the time of death thing.
Yeah.
We already have Irie, like, and there he is.
Speak of the devil.
We summoned him, like the devil himself. Because I hate all this perverse nonsense, but I love that he exists. Shout out to Chie.
Yes, Chie.
Shout out to Chie.
Kill this
Whack him in the head.
冗談のつもりだったんですがと言いつつ本気に
Fuck off. The fucking Bishojo glass bush. That's great.
Oh god. Can I just get everyone who posts unironically edgy content on the internet to be replied to with that gif?
Please do. I'm actually serious. It's perfect.
I was just joking, although I'm actually serious.
Yeah, it's great.
Completely not addressed any motivation that Irie has for actually spilling all the beans to Rika.
Doesn't matter. He cares about kids. That's all we need to know.
That's all we need to know.
We need to be reminded through his slapstick hijinks with Chie that he is a friendly character and does not deserve to be murdered. And
I agree.
He might help us.
There are two characters that I would get Keanu Reeves to play in an adaptation of Higurashi.
Higurashi, can it be Akisaka?
Well, one of them's obviously Akisaka. The other one's Rika.
What? How? Why?
Just like anytime Rika goes into like depressed monologue mode, just have Keanu Reeves.
That would be so bad.
Need to keep this story consistent, Ryukishi says to himself.
Do we need to? That was cool. I enjoyed that. It was an interesting decision to just like cut off their like club room discussion of the plot of the show like halfway through.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess because we already have the scene of Hanyu and Rika talking about it, it's a bit redundant to go over it again.
It's a bit, but it's also good to just have the club, you know, hanging out together.
Who's calling in today?
Dark Rika Corner. Oh, it's
Teppei again. What the fuck?
Rika's like, isn't there somebody else?
Carry on with this next.
With the show. Look, at least they acknowledge the fact that Teppei is the only person who calls in. He's the only man in the whole village with a phone.
That's true. I believe that. Everyone else has to go to a phone booth and dies there.
It's a great song.
It is a good song.
It's a very good song.
It is a good song.
I enjoy all the Higurashi music. I don't think there's a single track that I'm like, man, I hate this. Actually, that's not true. In the VN, maybe. You know what?
In the VN, definitely.
In the VN, there are a couple, actually. You know, now I think about it. In the first arcs.
Oh, it's this scene.
The best scene.
Oh, my God.
Time for the greatest
entrance. I want to relive this moment.
Look, it was a great moment.
This really was like just the peak of Higurashi for me.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of interesting. We don't really explore the avenue of you know, maybe we can't trust Tomitaki with this information. I don't know. That's something that doesn't really come up.
Because
I feel like that'd be an interesting discussion, even though we're already like there's already a lot in Arc 8s. So
yeah.
To put it in there, is a bit silly, but
it's almost like a logical continuation of the trust your friends kind of story.
It totally is.
But we don't really ever set up why he applies.
It's more so something because the reader is on board with trusting him because we've seen the scenes in which he gets murdered multiple times. Like we have such a thorough understanding. It'd be like if in Arc 7 we had a whole subplot over Rika trying to figure out if Iri or Takano was the bad guy.
Yeah, that'd be
fucking stupid.
That'd be pretty ridiculous.
Because there's a point where the reader or the watcher has such a thorough understanding of the situation that trying to put forward one of the characters with Rika right now as the bad guy would be a waste of time and boring.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Oofed.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't do that. It's a good thing you didn't get us killed or anything.
Oh my god, they put it here.
She said the thing.
I can't believe they did that.
So strange.
I didn't think they were ever going to use it.
Look, they got it in there. That's the important thing. First question, grandfather's work recognized. Second wish, whatever, you get to murder the whole village. Third wish,
all you can eat breakfast for the rest of life.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
God, that's a Dutch angle and a half.
What the fuck?
Calm down,
I need
man.
to turn my head to the side to figure out what's going on there. That was crazy. Your master is here, Akazaka.
Don't worry. I don't speak to them like this normally, I promise.
He's a cop, isn't he? Oh, God. No. Didn't Akasaka
That is correct.
tell these
That
last
is
time?
correct.
Yeah, I thought so. That's interesting. Zero's like, I don't even know anything about military signals and junk.
We haven't established anything about Akasaka's character
No,
here.
we know nothing. He's really not that important.
Unfortunately, because this is national television, we couldn't talk about nationalism on the show.
No, that'd be silly. Nationalism isn't that important anyway.
That's right.
It's not that important to the story. It's not like a huge theme or anything.
It's interesting because, part of that entire sequence in the anime was about Yuishi's whole resolute decision to do it regardless.
In this one, it's not as important.
They haven't undermined it because he still said he was going to do it in the first place.
Well, I mean, this is an ongoing theme with the anime. They're the characters' individual decisions don't matter as much as just moving the plot forward and showing how it all turns out. Right? Yeah. We get a much closer character discussion in the VN, which I really, appreciate.
I don't want to see them unwell. I just want to be able to hate them to their face. Wish they had put something about this earlier in the story so it hit with any weight.
No. They're like how many more flowers they drop to. It's like they're trying to show them up. This anime just at this point in the story just exudes chill energies. Because there isn't any murder anymore. It's just we're just going through and explaining everything and showing what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most interesting things about the anime, is that the weirdest thing to me is how different the watch experience is section to section of the story.
Yep.
So often when I think of shows, I think of a particular emotion, a particular vibe, a particular experience that I had watching the product as a whole.
Sure. It's very different in this show, though.
Whereas here, the first and second season may as well be two completely different stories.
It almost makes me think of is there an alternate proposition where they just shoved a bunch of extra violence in the second season to make it match the first one better? Because the whole story had been out. They couldn't entirely do a brotherhood where they just create their own ending to the story. But I wonder if there's an alternate idea where we didn't follow the pacifist ending.
I'm trying to think of another show that's had as big of a tonal difference in.
I was gonna say it's not like a Whiplash. It's just I mean, I can think of one that sort of does that. Attack on Titan actually has some similar stuff going on.
I've not watched far enough.
I will not spoil things for you, but the fact that it was I don't know if this is right, but just the writer improves so much.
Yeah.
From their source material because they wrote the manga or whatever, but you can tell that the story that they're pulling the show from is becoming much more complex and thoughtful.
Yeah.
Like the first season is very impressive and the story is really like, then there are Titans, everybody's dying and the music's amazing and everything's awesome. But like, it's kind of a dumb show.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to season 3, the tone of the story is still quite like, there's lots of violence and death and stuff, but it's much more thoughtful. There's a lot more like political intrigue and humans trying to like outsmart each other and like uncover the lore of the world and shit. Like the different seasons are very different in terms of their tone and content.
Yeah.
In a sort of similar way, I think. But I don't know. What about you? You got any similar shows or? That's the one that springs to mind for me, but I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the one that I've been thinking about, we've obviously been, I think, discussing this bit behind the scenes.
Have we?
Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't watched much of that.
Yeah, not because that show particularly has like much of an emotional journey, but just because like it does such a variety of different things and has so many different experiences in it. Yeah. But like the difference there is that's just a different approach as they go season to season, where it's like here.
Well, that's a deliberate like design thing, though, right? Because they've got all the different doctors, and the different doctors switch out and bring different flavors of the same concept.
And the companions and the showrunners. There's like so many different.
Yeah, like I don't need to tell you about this because it's baked into the show. Yeah, the original concept of like, well, what do we do when the actor like gets too old and we still want to do the show? Yeah, well, there's another one like the Doctor reincarnates, and they could just keep doing that. So we have all these different flavors and ideas.
Whereas like for Ryukashi's stuff, it's kind of intrinsic to the way that he writes that you end up in a completely different place the way you expected, and that's kind of fun. Sure. But the way that they've done that in the anime is very different to where it doesn't feel like a cohesive journey because of how contextually different the production styles of the 2 seasons are. Sure.
No, I get that totally. Season 1 does a good job of ending on that note of a good ending is possible. We're not done yet, but we are going to confirm all of your time travel theories in this moment. And it kind of sets up the idea that the next season or the next arc, whatever, is going to be explaining the mechanics of that time travel and like how all that works. And that's sort of what happens with the anime only arc. They sort of explain that a little bit, but rely obviously on arc 7 for the bulk of that. But no, I definitely do think it's interesting that the 2 seasons, like, I mean, I've told you, people have watched the second season, not realizing that it wasn't the first season. And they've been like, oh yeah, this seems like fine. Just because it is its own beast in a sense. The 2 seasons stand on their own in a really weird way. Not necessarily in terms of quality, because obviously season 1 has a lot of quality problems, but like in terms of their story, like you could watch season 1 and go, well, maybe that was the good ending. Like it's not perfect, but Rena didn't blow up the school and da 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 da. Like if you just ignore that final scene of Rika in the car with Oishi, like you could consider that a wrap, like theoretically. Yeah. And similarly with season 2, you could just watch it on its own and be like, yeah, this like makes sense. It's like its own thing. Yeah.
I suppose we will see you next time with more of the anime. We're getting so close to the end.
We're getting there.
Man, we're going to have to start Go soon. I don't even know. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
You're going to have to theorize, and I'm going to sit here and mock you.
I'm also going to have to figure out how to actually edit the damn thing. We'll talk about that at the start of next video.
It out. We got time.